So how are you Bloom Boys doing?
Good, thanks for having us.
Good, I'm so excited to have you here. So what is BloomNation?
So BloomNation is an online floral marketplace that allows consumers to connect directly with artists and florists across the country. So you get to see real designs, they take photos of their own work, and you see the real prices, and they even take a picture before the bouquet goes out the door.
Which is so smart, and that's your Bloom Snap?
Yes, we have that feature, Bloom Snap.
Because you never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So how did you guys start this? I mean, did you think that you were gonna start a flower company? Was this your dream?
We like to say. You know what? We didn't exactly grow up thinking about how could we change the flower industry. It really kind of happened by chance. Farbod's aunt was a local florist, and that kind of shed our eyes. We didn't realize when you're sending flowers, going through the traditional large websites that most people use, that they're just brokers and middlemen. And so once we understood how the industry worked, it would just seem like a no-brainer to create this marketplace, an Etsy or Amazon style website for flowers.
That's fantastic. And I know that most startups, they go about investing a very different way, but you guys actually have a very interesting story. So how'd you get the money to start this company?
Well, it was pretty interesting. Farbod and Gregg had this awesome idea, and I was playing poker at the time, and they said, hey, come on over because we need some cash to get this started. So we actually went to the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles. Gregg actually found the tournament and sent me in, and these guys actually started building BloomNation and kind of wireframing it on one of the poker tables next to the tournament. And we went and we played the tournament, and 24 hours later, we got heads up, which is one-on-one with the last opponent. And we got all in, and I remember as I was playing, we got all in, and I look up, and we showed over our cards, and my opponent started celebrating. And I looked at Farbod and Gregg, and they were dejected. But Gregg looked at me and was like, what happened? We need this money. What happened? And I went to Gregg, and I walked over to him, and I said, it's flower time, because I knew I had won, and the opponent didn't. And the mediator, the tournament director, came in and announced my hand the best hand, and we were in jubilation, and that's how we got our first $30,000.
What was the hardest thing for you guys to do to get this company off the ground?
I think it was building the trust of the florists, because they've been working with all these other services, and those guys have kind of beaten them up a lot on pricing and trust. So getting that trust from them was critical for us to succeed, and that was a lot of effort on our part.
What most people don't realize is how much the industry has been impacted over the last 15, 20 years. It's something like 30% less florists now than there were 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And so they've been struggling for a long time, and that's just because the solution beforehand, by going through a broker, going through a middleman that takes half the money, does not help their bottom line at all. Right, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are responsible for the labor, the flowers, getting the delivery out there. So it was just that realization that the market was ready for a change.
So do you guys send each other flowers?
Yeah. For birthdays and events, or our anniversary of our friendships. We've known each other for a long time, so we send each other flowers.
One of the most interesting things, and probably one of the most challenging things, is to keep up, because now that we do this company, all our friends and family expect flowers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So keeping up with that, because you're doing this company,